Hey, the footage that you're seeing in the background is me playing my most recent Hunter build in the Grandmaster the Glassway. In this video, we will be showcasing the Omnioculus build, one of my all-time favorites and in my opinion also one of the best Omnioculus builds out there. However, before we can go into the build, I need to explain to you guys a couple of things that actually many people don't even know about Omnioculus, so stick around. Now, what many people don't know is that Omnioculus doesn't stack with Wall of Tenacity or Protective Light. What ends up happening is that once you proc Protective Light and then you go invisible, Omnioculus is gonna automatically remove the Protective Light buff from you. It gets overridden. Now, what this means for us hunters is that because we are 90% of the time invisible, and specifically we go invisible when we are low on health, there's literally no point in us running either Protective Light or Wall of Tenacity because there are plenty of other mods that could replace it and make the whole build a lot more effective. Okay, so stat-wise we are going to be aiming for 100 mobility, anything over 80 when it comes to recovery, and the rest you can either put it on strength or on resilience. I chose to put it on strength just to have my smoke bombs a bit quicker. For aspects and fragments we are going to be running Trapper's Ambush because this is a must-have if you want to smoke your allies, with Vanishing Step is also a must-have because it makes you invisible whenever you dodge. We are going to be combining this with Echo of Persistence, increasing that duration of our invisibility, Echo of Obscurity, giving us that nice 10 recovery and making our finishers give us invisibility. Now for the third fragment we are using Echo of Dilation simply for the stats that it gives. Now for this third fragment you can swap it around to your liking, however I recommend sticking with this one simply because it gives you very nice stats. Now for our mods we are going to be running High Energy Fire. And you guys might be wondering, are you crazy, Trey? High Energy Fire for Grandmaster and endgame content? Yes, you heard me right guys, we are already running Omnioculus which provides you crazy amount of resistances. Now we know that Wall of Tenacity and Protective Light do not stack with Omnioculus, so the only other mods that we can put in here are damaging or utility mod. That's why we are going to be using High Energy Fire, which is going to have a crazy uptime in this build. In fact, when testing out this build in Grandmaster Nightfalls, I pretty much every single time had High Energy Fire up when I needed it. We are going to pair this up with a Harmonic Siphon and a Armor Finder of your choice. Now, if you do have enough mobility and can get rid of this one on your helmet, you can always put a Kinetic Siphon to make sure that you can use different weapons and not just Void. But if you don't, then that's absolutely fine, just stick with Harmonic Siphon, it's not a big deal. For our gloves we are going to be using Supercharge, which is going to allow us to have 2 additional stacks of Charge with Light. That means High Energy Fire is going to be able to kill up to 4 targets, which is going to help you a lot in the long run. Now if you guys happen not to have Supercharge, then your second best option is Charged Up. It's pretty much the same thing, but it allows you to have 1 extra stack of Charge with Light instead of 2. Now for the other 2 slots are just going to be your typical standard champion mods that you're going to be facing. Now for our chestplate we are going to be using Omnioculus. Now this is because it gives us that nice 50% damage reduction when we are invisible. Smoking your allies is also going to give you a portion of your melee energy back. Now smoking 2 of your allies is going to give you the full smoke bomb back. We are going to be pairing this with stacks on stacks. Now what this is going to do is that whenever we pick up that Void Well, instead of getting charged by light times 2, we are gonna get it times 4. Now this is going to help you keep the uptime on High Energy Fire. Now if you happen to use a Void weapon and you know that the next Nightfall or whatever activity you are doing has a lot of adds in it, then I recommend you guys swap it to Volatile Flow. For your resistances, just make sure you adapt them to each of your activities. For example, I was doing the Glassway, and the snipers in the Glassway use arc damage, and if you don't have thermal shock plating they will one-shot you. Now when it comes to our legs we are going to be using Elemental Charge. This is going to give us freaking 4 stacks of Charge with Light whenever we pick up that Void Elemental Well. Pair this up with a scavenger of your choice depending on the activity and weapons that you're using. Now finally for our cloak we are going to be using Reaping Wellmaker, and this is going to be our primary way of staying charged with light throughout the whole activity. Lucen's finisher is also a must this season because it provides free heavy ammo, and combine that with special finisher which is also gonna provide special ammo. Now as a hunter it's kind of your job to finish the champions and any other mobs, That's why we are running these two mods. You will literally never run out of ammo as long as you have these two equipped. Now, to summarize this build, what you are going to want to do is use your dodge as often as possible to create those void wells that are going to be making you charge with light and giving you that 20% extra damage boost. This, combined with you picking up orbs of power here and there, is going to give you a crazy uptime on your high energy fire buff. Now, if your teammates also happen to be creating void wells, this build is going to be even better. I had two of my teammates in Grandmaster that were creating void wells, and I'm pretty sure that my uptime for high energy fire was somewhere around 90% throughout the entire Grandmaster Nightfall, which is absolutely insane, because I was almost 3-shotting champions in a Grandmaster. And when I took this build to a Master Nightfall, I was almost 2-shotting the champions, which is actually insane. And that's the beauty about this build. You already have the damage resistance from Omnioculus, so now you add the damage boost from high energy fire and you've got a build that's very hard to kill and also deals a lot of damage in endgame content. I really do hope that you guys are going to enjoy this build. If you want to help me out, then please consider subscribing. I'm trying to grow this channel. I try my best to make short and high quality content videos for you guys to watch and enjoy. Also, if you haven't watched my previous video, I recommend you guys watch it. It's absolutely nuts. It's just as amazing as this one, but for stasis hunters. I'm going to leave a summary of this build at the end of the video, so if you want to screenshot it, feel free to do that. I'm also going to be posting that picture in my Discord, so make sure you join if you're interested. That way we can have a chat or simply play together. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.